Hey, good morning. I have Harbor Freight 67378 metal detector with armrest. So it's got some ergonomics going on here. Earphone jack, adjustable stem, 6 AA batteries. It's a lot like the smaller one. And it says non-function. Easily find coins, relics, jewelry, gold, and silver. Just like every treasure hunting metal detector, they promise all kinds of stuff. So let's go ahead and open it and see what we got. Now this one is some assembly required. It's a little more sophisticated than the small one. Now on the small one, it said Chicago Electric Tools on the manual, but not on the box. This one doesn't say anything on the manual. So you interpret that to be it's Harbor Freight Tools brand. Now, while this is interesting, it tells you all the parts. The interesting part to me is the electronics, and they don't tell you very much about that. So pretty straightforward. We're just going to take this and put in this one, insert, and when you tighten it up, that'll take care of the issue. And there we go. Now, it's a little odd that this one has the cable external and the small one had it internal. Now, the small one is normally $39 and this one's normally $49, but this one was in ITC for $39, so that's what I got it for. Okay, so it's got the ergonomic grip. That's going to be a little easier to handle outside. Now that cable's a bit of a problem, but if you rotate the base, actually you're going to rotate this end, that'll coil up around the pole. And that's what it has on the box, is how I knew to do that. Another one more, there we go. And it seemed to create a bit of a knot, so I'm going to spread it out. There, that looks pretty good. Now you want to line that up, and this has to be flat to the ground. It has to be parallel to the ground. So when you're looking, it's going to be like this. Now I can tell you from looking at the other one, this is almost the same thing. I wouldn't doubt that the electronics is almost exactly the same also. We need batteries, 6 AA. So amazingly enough, I'm using Harbor Freight batteries. You know, the flat side of a battery always goes against the coil. Or the spring, you can call it either thing. There we go. Okay, it has a headphone jack right here. It's a little comfortable. Okay, so out of the box, we're going to set that to medium. This to medium, the sense and the discriminator. And we're going to go with all metal. This switch will take the discriminator out of the circuit and you'll just detect everything. If you go to discriminator as the mode, this is going to determine your sensitivity. But we'll do all metal. So when you turn it on, it does a funny noise. So if I go near this cast iron, I gotta tell you, I'm liking this one a whole lot better than the small one. We put batteries in it already. It has a low battery indicator. Obviously, if that's on, the tool's not gonna work correctly. And if you use the headphone jack instead of the speaker, it's gonna use a lot less power and your batteries are gonna last a lot longer. They're calling sense, S-E-N-S, sensitivity. You probably want that near the high end most of the time. But if you're in a city environment and there's like a chain link fence, a lot of city metal around, turn that down. You lose a little bit of sensitivity, but you'll also not be alarming all the time. So we're thinking maybe 3/4 of the way. So you're going through the yard, you're sweeping, you find something. So when you find something, you press this button, and it gives you a little bit more control about where it's actually at. So this is default. So that, notice it doesn't alarm straight over top of these. It's almost like an afterthought. So once you find something like that, then you hit the red button, which is the target button. Then you take the start and the stop of the noise, and the very center will be your target. Okay, before you start, they want you to experiment with the different metals. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to do all metal with the sensitivity over, and I should be able to detect this wrench. So the wrench without the target button. The wrench with the target button. But they recommend you find it without the target button, the general area. Once you get a hit, then you use the target button to find the exact location. And they want you to do that test with several different metals. Discriminator tone, 0 is for iron, 10 is for aluminum. Everywhere in between is staged for different types of metal. You're going to have to look at the book to find the different metals. But they have settings for nickel, gold, zinc, copper, aluminum, and iron. To make those work correctly, you actually have to go to discriminator mode. That's when this is important. I'm probably just going to do all metal. So if you don't want to detect iron, turn on discriminator mode, set the volume straight up, discriminator tone straight up, and you should not detect iron. So supposedly, if you set it to discriminator mode, the further up you go, the less metals it will detect. So at 0, it's going to be iron. Straight up, it's going to detect nickel, but not iron. So if you go all the way to 10, it's going to detect aluminum, but not nickel and iron. How do you want to use this in the field? Well, it's a two-step process. You want to turn it on. You want to set the sensitivity all the way up to 10. Okay, discriminator, you don't want to use that right now. You just want to set it to all metal. You want to go and sweep your target location. You keep the bottom sensor level to the ground, about a 1/2 inch to 2 inches from the ground. This needle start to flicker somewhere, or you get a tone, you know you're after something. So then you flip it to discriminator, and you start sweeping it with different settings. You set it for iron, nickel, aluminum. That can give you an idea of what metal you've actually found and see if you want to dig it up. If it's iron, maybe you don't want to dig it up. But if it's nickel or brass or aluminum, maybe you do. So that gives you an idea. You don't want to go dig up everything you find, I guess. If you're at the beach, you're probably not going to find as much iron, but maybe you don't even want to dig for the iron. A lot of people do this at the beach. You kind of got to play with this as time goes by and learn how it does. If you set this to 10 and you set this to 10, you're kind of canceling each other to some extent. You might want to turn the sensitivity down. If you're going somewhere that has a ton of trash and you don't want iron and all the other crap, set it to about straight up, and that's going to filter things for you. So you're going to find things that are more valuable, have stronger signals. Don't expect this to be perfect. It's going to give you some indications. You have to make your judgments and then go do it. So we'll take this out in the yard and we'll sweep the yard and see what's out there. Well, it's the 4th of July and it's about 100 degrees and I ain't even noon yet. So we'll try this out. So I've got it on all metal. The discriminator knob doesn't really matter on all metal. And I got the sensitivity all the way up and I got the volume halfway. So we'll just start sweeping. Okay, I have not seeded this lawn at all. Now, if you press the red button, it's supposed to give you a better idea. I'm not sure it gives you any better idea. Okay, now I can put it on discrimination and I can put it on 10, see if I find it. I don't, so I'll lower it to halfway. I don't find it. I'll put it to 0, which is iron, and it goes off. I can put it about 1/4 of the way, and I still get a reading. Some. So according to this, that's iron. So we didn't find anything. Right here's where I think it is. Apparently not. Reasonably short's in this area right here. So all that for a nail. To the edge of the driveway, I think it's construction debris from when the house was originally built. So, there's how it works. Okay, final summary after I've used this quite a bit. The non-function metal detector with armrest. I recommend this one. It is difficult to get used to, but once you get used to it, it does have a system that works. It will help you find metal in the ground. Besides that, it also has the discriminator to help you try to figure out if it's iron or something else, and it has 5 or 6 different levels you can test. I find that useful. Iron is probably the one thing you don't want, so this would help you find everything but the iron. And sensitivity is okay. Doesn't narrow it down to a very specific place, but it does work. That is the key thing. It does work. So I got this for $39.99 with an ITC coupon. That's probably a good price. 20% off to $49.99 would be about the same thing. So this one I recommend. So if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.